Welcome to The Link this evening. And this week we are talking about, again, standards. We have talked standards here before. We are talking standards again, but we're focusing this time on imports. If you are in the business of importing, the UNBS wants you to do some things in as far as your imports are concerned. That's what is coming up soon. Just stay tuned. Welcome back, and my guest tonight is Godwin Muhwezi, who is the spokesperson for the UNBS, Uganda National Bureau of Standards. People think it's the other one of statistics, but it's UNBS, Bureau of Standards. Very nice. Godwin, in the newspaper I have seen some kind of advert on compulsory standards on imports. What are we talking about here?
Thank you, Samuel. Thanks for inviting me here. Standards for imports inspection. Basically, the advert is about the new regulation that we have enacted, which is the Imports Clearance Regulation 2018. Now, enforcement started in November last year. So the advert is to re-emphasize what is in that regulation. Okay. Basically, the regulation, when you talk about compulsory standards, we are talking about standards that affect the health and safety of consumers. They are standards that have been developed and designed to ensure that the consumer is protected in terms of health and their safety. I will give you an example. We have about over 3,000 standards at Uganda National Bureau of Standards. Of those, about 1,300 are compulsory standards. They are designed to protect the consumer.
They are a must.
They are a must. And these are standards that are enforceable. UNBS does not enforce all standards. It enforces standards that are compulsory. And to give you an example, it includes things like foodstuffs, because that's a must. You have to protect your health, what you're taking in.
When we eat food.
Yeah, absolutely. Then there are things like electricals. That's a safety issue because of electrocution, burning, and all that. Then there are things like toys. Toys in terms of especially some dangerous elements like lead that could be in toys. So those category of items are covered by compulsory standards. Yes.
Very good.
So basically the new regulations emphasizes that before you import these items that are covered by compulsory standards, they must, those goods must be inspected in the country of origin, issued with what we call a certificate of conformity. Then when you come for clearance at the entry point, you present the certificate of conformity. It's upon that your goods are then cleared.
Certificate says that we have inspected these goods and they are safe.
Yes. Actually, we have service providers around the world where we usually import. And some of the service providers include Intertech, SGS, and Bureau Veritas. So what happens is that before an importer brings in an item, he needs to contact this service provider. Let's say they are importing from China. They need to contact the country office even before going to China. They need to get in touch with either SGS, Intertech, or Bureau Veritas. Find out, I want to import these goods in a certain region of China. Do you have presence there? So where can I test my goods? So once it gets that information, then they can proceed to go to travel to China. Then once they reach in China and they've been given contact details of the local agent there, then the goods, they will need to present the goods that they want to import to the local agent. Now the local agent will carry out a number of conformity assessments, which includes testing, which includes verification against the standard. So once you find that goods conform to standards, then they are issued with what we call a certificate of conformity.
Okay.
It's that certificate of conformity. It's a license to say that now these goods are safe.
Yeah.
They won't endanger the health of a consumer.
Okay.
They won't affect their safety. So they are safe to be imported into Uganda. You will use that certificate to initiate the clearance process. So upon verifying all those, the authenticity of the certificate of conformity,
Yeah.
then our inspectors at the entry points will then issue with imports clearance.
Godwin, somebody may say that importers can bribe those people to give them certificates of conformity which are fake. Is that possible?
No, it's not possible because one, these are international, multinational companies that uphold the highest level of standards. We also have agreements with them. If there are any goods that we find
pass through them, but they are problematic.
Yes, then there are penalties.
Okay.
There are penalties. So it's not possible for them to be able to compromise their relations with us, and also their contracts, and also they risk being penalized.
They have a name to lose.
Yes.
Okay. What if I bring these goods when I've not done those things? What happens to me?
If you have not done the inspections that
There's
is
no
required,
certificate.
yes. There's what we call destination inspection.
Yes.
We shall first of all penalize you for doing.
Punish me for not doing it.
Because you're not following the regulation. We shall punish you. You will have to pay a surcharge of 15% of the CIF value, CIF cost insurance freight,
yes.
Of the value of goods. So, and then you pay inspection fees, you pay administrative cost of about $50, and inspection fees. Then we shall retain the goods. We shall pick samples, take them for testing, until results come out.
You'll be waiting there.
Yes. We shall retain the, it is what we call release under seal. We release the goods, but they remain sealed.
So basically I'm losing business.
Yes, until such a point. Then the other thing also, you have to pay 15% of CIF value as a bond.
Okay.
In case these goods are found to be substandard, because there's a cost of destruction. Then that bond is to ensure that the cost of it caters for the cost of destruction, and also to ensure that you're able to, because there are two things. One, you destroy at your own cost, but also you can be asked to re-export the product, to re-export it. So the reason why we put up that 15% bond is to ensure that those guidelines are followed in case the goods are found to be substandard.
Godwin, before we go, we have a few minutes now left. Some of these regulations have been revised. We need to know that. Your traders need to know. What has been revised? You've talked about something about East Africa or something like that. Yes,
we have revised the regulation mainly, especially to introduce, to make it clear the destination inspection fees. But also we have done away with recognition of certificate of conformities from other East African states.
Okay.
So right now, if you importing a good destination, supposed to go to Kenya.
Okay. You're importing from Kenya to Uganda. Or
if you're importing from China to Kenya.
Yes.
And you get a certificate of conformity from the service provider
to Kenya,
then you must, if you want to get to re-export
to Uganda
that good to Uganda, you must subject it to fresh another inspection by a service provider contracted by us. Yes.
And there are there are exemptions. Who is exempt from this import verification process?
A number of goods are exempt, like raw materials, raw materials that are going to use for industrial production.
Okay.
They're exempt. They are what?
Can they be substandard?
No, raw materials, because we feel there's another layer to check the production, what we call certification.
Which is internal.
Yes, which is internal. So there's that conformity assessment. So raw materials are exempt. Machinery, industrial machinery is also exempt. They are goods that are specific to government projects. Let's say if they are coming for specific government projects like Karuma and
roads and power.
Yes, then they notify us that these are specific to this project. Then those ones are exempt. There are also what we call personal effects. For instance, someone has been living abroad and wants to come back to Uganda. Really, it would be unfair to start testing their household goods. Then there are goods that are below 1,000 USD in value, free on board value. If they don't fall under high risk items, like baby food, like diapers, then those ones are also exempt. Then there's diplomatic cargo as well.
That one you don't touch. You don't touch
diplomatic cargo is exempt as well.
In 1 minute, Godwin, lastly, isn't this increasing the cost of doing business for our importers?
Actually, if importers follow the right procedure, which is inspection in the country of origin, the cost of business definitely goes down. Because if you look at the importers who do not subject their goods to inspection in the country of origin, the cost becomes high.
They pay much more.
They pay much more because you have to pay 15% surcharge. You have to pay extra money for administration costs. Then you have to pay bond fees. So you find instead of importing a product at a cost of about 6.2 million, if you go for destination inspection, you find you have paid close to about 22 million. So the people who find it costly are those ones who don't subject themselves to the right procedures.
Thank you very much, Godwin. You have had the man. He has told us inspect or else you pay penalties, but it's good for us to trust your products. That was The Link, and thank you for joining us tonight.